Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 with our realistic series. I just flicked over to this one a second and... yeah. The hired help didn't disappoint when we were expecting to be disappointed, so we can at least... it does at least have that in its favour. That's kind of a thing in its favour, isn't it? It didn't disappoint when we expected to be disappointed. I think that's a thing. I'm sure it's a thing. I'm going to do a few passes this way, and then it should be alright. I unloaded what was in there, and I'm just going to let him turn round, and then we will get a little bit more in here, just while he's travelling back up across the field, and then we can run this back up, and we can sell this. While he's doing his turning round, is there anything else that we want to be doing? So I've got the ploughing going on here at the moment. He's reversing up after turning round in a huge circle. That field has already been ploughed, and that one is now done. Needs lime up there. There's a couple little spots that the plough missed that we're not going to worry about. Only little tiny bits. But we won't concern ourselves with those little tiny bits. That one's also going to need lime on it when that one's finished. So we've got two fields that we want to spread with lime, and then this one will want to be ploughed up after we've done this, but it doesn't look like it's going to need any lime on it, so we'll be alright with that. But we've got a lot of work that we're going to need to do, so let's bring you on round this way. It's doing alright with the hired help after just a couple times around the field. Yes, there'll be some tidying up that we will do at the end of it, but I'm not too concerned about that. It's we can do a quick tidy up job at the end of it, and everything will be looking tickety-boo and wonderful. That's another full trailer load. Let's see if I can round here. Yep, no problem. Alright, now I just got to get down here and then up the hill. Going up the hill is possibly going to be relatively straightforward, possibly going to be incredibly difficult. Probably better if we go out onto the lane and haul ourselves up there, because you get a better grip than you do on the freshly harvested ground in the soil, because the soil's all loose and everything. You're more likely to get stuck on that bit. It's better if we can do it like this. Slowly haul up there. It's a lot of weight for that tractor to pull. I mean, that tractor is a very powerful tractor, but we have got 50,000 litres of sugar beet in this trailer. That is not a small quantity by any stretch of the imagination. That is a huge amount of sugar beet that we have got crawling up this hill with. So it's quite impressive that he is actually able to do it. More than just a little bit impressive, actually. It's extremely impressive. I'm still curious what we're going to do with all this sugar beet. We're going to need to do something with it. Let's bring you on round over here like that, and then pipe out like that. Another 50,000 litres to go in there. While that's unloading, let's go and check on our plough. Right, there's plenty of room for doing the turning round on the field now. He should be okay. We'll let him get up to the end of the row up here. And I will just tidy that. I don't know why he came all the way down here in order to do his turning round. They do some very strange things sometimes, the hired helps, don't they? Right, you go up to there. I'm sure you will be absolutely fine. I'm going to start off by doing a bit from here. Probably going to end up having to do another pass or two down this bit, but we'll start here like this. And just manually do one little bit up through here. The textures of the fields, they're slightly... there were some bugs, and those bugs have been fixed with the last patch for the game, except that if I patch that, then I've also got to do some updates on the maps that I'm using, and unfortunately I've done quite a bit of editing on most of the maps that I'm using, and I don't really want to have to go back through and redo the editing that I did previously, because I'm very lazy. And yeah, so I'm not doing that at the moment, but I know there's one issue with soil textures after plowing. Like, it keeps the stubble texture on top of the plowed texture or something. I don't quite know why it's doing that, but anyway, apparently that has now been fixed with the latest small patch that they put out. And there was a thing that they did, like, Giants themselves did a whole load of fixes. I think I mentioned this previously. They went through and actually repaired some of the maps that had individual textures, and then they patched it, like they did a small update on quite a few of the maps. And when you have a look at the patch notes for the updates on several of these maps, it actually says, did this bit and this bit to do with textures, fixed an error, work done by Farming Simulator modding team, or the mod hub team, or something like that. And I actually thought that was really cool. I really like that, because it's not often that a big game like that, and well, like Farming Simulator, it's not often that they would actually get involved with running any updates on mods that weren't working. So I really did think that that was a very cool thing that they'd gone through and done that themselves. And I mean, I know that some of you will argue that, well, they broke the mods by doing an update on the game. Well, yeah, but that's what games, like, we want games to have updates. Like, we want games to have updates, and that is the one risk with mods, is if you have a mod in a game and then the game has an update, you're probably going to lose the mod. It's just a thing that happens. It's just a thing. It's sort of part and parcel of the whole modding gig. But that's the same with all games. I've never played a game yet that had mods in it that sort of didn't regularly get broken. I mean, Factorio is thick with mods. There's thousands of mods for Factorio, and I've played a lot of Factorio. It's my most played game on Steam, and the mods would break every now and then. And yeah, the creators of Factorio, they work very closely with the mod makers, and they would keep back any of the major game breaking changes, the mod breaking changes. They would do it all in one. They would basically say, right, well, that's going to change the game so much that mods will break, so we'll hold that one off, and we'll do that one along with a few of these others. And then every now and then they did an update to the game while it was in the early access stages. Every now and then they did an update to the game that would break pretty much all of the mods that were existing at the time, but they would give plenty of notice to all the mod makers and release code and stuff to help them prepare for it. And it was really awesome the way they went through it. I was really impressed with that. I like that. Right, now he's got room to turn around. I mean, he's still leaving little bits at the end of the field every time, but, well, we'll live with it. That's just something we will live with. This dude here is actually, I'm thinking that what we will do is we'll do a little bit of work on the end of the field here and just tidy this up a little bit. Let's bring you on round there, like that. And then we'll do that little run there. And if I do 2 passes along the end of the field, it should take care of these little bits that we're getting left behind. And then I can tip this out into the trailer, and then we can leave the hired help to go again. I'm not going to worry about the rest of the field, but just the bits on the end here will keep this fairly neat and tidy for the most part, I think. So I definitely think it's worth doing. Around there. And we'll start on another pass, and I will also just put the spout out a minute so he's ready. Actually, I don't need to worry about this because we're going back up the other way. We'll do that as the hired help takes the machine up across the field. We will chase along behind it and we'll gather up that little bit. Bring you over there, go and get this little bit over this side, and job done. Well, maybe not the whole job. Maybe there's some little tiny bit of the job left still to do, but we've done this bit of the job, and drop you down there like that. Right. Hired help is away. I want to jump over to this one. AI worker F has a nearly full grain tank. I did look at going and getting the AI vehicle extension and putting that in because I've used it previously and really liked it. I don't know when the last time it was updated, but the person who makes it, they've got a thing on GitHub where the main code for the AI vehicle extension is kept, and you can download it from it. Basically put a notice up there sometime last year to say, sorry, not working on this anymore, have uninstalled FS22, not playing anymore. So, yeah, I thought, well, I might actually just leave that and not worry about it, because, like, the longer you go without updates, especially in this game with the changes that they make with various different things that happen, the more buggy it's going to get, and I can see it just end up causing problems and frustration. So I'm going to leave the AI vehicle extension this time round, unless I know that someone else is working on it and sort of working on some improvements. Why? Well, I know why, because there's a tree there. So it went all the way to the end of the field, turned round, and then drove halfway across. Well, okay, admittedly it's not halfway across the field, but it might as well have been. Look at it. What is with the AI and their fear of trees? I don't know. I reckon maybe all of the AI... this is my theory, right? My theory is that all AI hired help come from Australia. And the reason that they're scared of the trees is because they think that there's a drop bear in the tree and it's going to get them. You've got to be careful of the drop bears. Drop bears are dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And that's what I think that all these hired helps believe that they're in Australia, and they're Australian anyway, and they just have this morbid fear of the drop bears, and they're going to get them. And for those of you who don't know, a drop bear is a vicious, nasty creature. It looks a bit like a koala that lives in Australia, and as you walk under a tree, it drops on top of you and will savagely attack you. At least that's what I was told when I was there. The Australians were busy telling me, they said, you've got to be careful of the drop bears. You've got to look out for the drop bears, because they're very, very dangerous, and they will jump out the tree and land on your back, and they will savage you. And I remember being 9 years old and absolutely terrified of every tree I went near for the few months that I was in Australia. I will say no more about it. I said I'll say no more about it, but if there's any Australians watching, they will probably confirm the existence of drop bears and just how dangerous they are. You can look them up. You can go and Google about drop bears if you want to, but be prepared to be shocked if you do. That's all we need to say on the subject. So I know there's Australians listening who are thinking about the drop bears, just thinking to themselves, yes, the message was made clear. But anyway, we have another load here that we need to take up and I was going to say sell, but we don't want to sell. We want to just deposit that in our store. I've been thinking, we've got all of this. We're going to want some cut sugar beet to make the mineral feed. Now, mineral feed, we got no choice. We have to use the machine doodah thing. But these machines, these placeables, somewhat annoyed me because it's one of those things that railroads you into a certain type of gameplay, and, well, I think I've made it pretty clear what I feel about such things. I was thinking maybe I'll just use something else, because, like, the chopped sugar beet one, at least, there's much better options than the little thing that we've got here that only holds, like, 20,000 litres. There's actually a really cool one. It's, like, 120,000 euros, though, instead of, whatever the one is in here, 40,000, I think. So it is a wee bit more expensive. However, I do feel it's worth the money. How How much have we got in here? Oh, actually, I want to go and just have a look and see what this one... Not you. You, what are you doing? Right. You're turning round close to the pole there, so... He's going to come up to the pole next time. The moment he wants to drive halfway across the field before he starts. Why did you just start back there? You could have done. I still don't know why they haven't done a version of AI vehicle extension for the game. Like, why have they got the hired help still only able to do straight lines instead of following a curve on the edge of the field? That's something that I don't understand. Like, they've done so much else with the game. Why is the hired help still the way it is? There's something that has frustrated me since the release of the AI vehicle extension back in FS15, I think it was. That one came out. Whenever it was, I absolutely loved it. I fell in love with that one straight away because there was no big setup like there was with Courseplay. You just pressed the button and away it went. That was it. There was nothing else involved. Although I've been told by many people that Courseplay is now much, much simpler and it's much easier to operate. So I might consider using Courseplay to do... I know, sacrilegious words are now pouring forth from my mouth in ways that many of you would be utterly aghast at hearing. I have considered using Courseplay. I'm able to admit that I can change my mind. I can change my mind. I can admit when things change. I can even say sometimes that I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. I hate Courseplay. But I might possibly like an aspect of Courseplay. That's all I'm saying. There's an aspect of Courseplay, and that aspect of Courseplay is the ability for the vehicles to follow the edges of a field. Now that I might be able to get on board with. Might. Not saying I will. We'll see. I don't know about that. Okay. There's not a lot else going on at the moment, is there? We've got this field that needs to be harvested, and then we've got the ploughing that's going on here. I mean, I guess we could go and do some lime spreading as well, because just following this thing round is going to get very boring very quickly. We've got the sheep down here. Now, at the moment, we have got 440 litres of milk. We've got... full of food. We need... well, actually, we need some more water in here. Let's do some water. Well, actually, saying that, let's jump to you. I'll follow you across the field a minute and get the sugar beet out of the machine, and then we could probably actually send it over to start doing the short work at the other end of the field. Although nighttime is upon us very, very soon now. It will very, very soon be Betty Buy's time, because I don't want to work in the dark. I don't know about you, but I like working in the dark in real life in tractors. Like if I'm doing tractor work in real life, I like doing that, or at least I do when there's plenty of lights. Not so much with a tractor that doesn't have lights around it. Okay, I'm just going to move to there. Then I'm going to do a hop, skip, and a jump over to this one. I'm going to tidy up these little bits here, and we'll take it over to the other end of the field, and we'll start doing some work over there. So I'm just going to clean these up, and then we'll probably go and skip the night. The hired help is having a little bit of a struggle turning round. It's morning, by the way. I've already slept the night. It's having a bit of a struggle turning round. Like, it goes all the way up to the other side of the field before it even attempts to start turning round. It's weird. But I think that sums up hired help pretty beautifully. Weird. Very, very weird. So I'm just going to let it mess around with that a little bit. We're going to... you can stay there. Your engine's still running. I wanted to keep the engine warm. That's why. And you over this way. Yeah, you're doing just fine. You've got a little bit of work still to do there. I say a little bit. You've got a lot of bit of work to do over that way. He is doing his spinning round. I want this tractor up here. And start this bad boy up. and I'm going to go and get that water tanker. I'm going to run some water down to the sheep. Now, I was actually thinking that maybe we should get something a bit bigger, because just 13,000 litres of water a time is not great. We could definitely do with more water than that each time we venture down to the sheep. Also, I don't want the only way to the sheep to be down this road. I'd rather there was a little track down the side of our field, to be honest. It'd be faster. But, oh well, this one will be fine. We'll use this one. And if we run this down, we should be able to use the tanker to carry milk back. I mean, yes, the milk is loading onto churns on pallets there, so I don't know if the milk is to be sold on, you know, directly on the pallets, because there's one that's nearly formed there now, or if we sort of decant it from there into the water tanker that we've got right here. So let's just start overloading that, and then we'll go in here and we'll have a look at the sheep right there. So there is our sheep. They're still on 0% because we got no protein feed, which we desperately need to get. And we got 900 litres of the sheep's milk right there. So next up, we want to have a look in here. The Cut Master is the one. We'll probably get rid of that. I'll get a better one. I don't like messing around with that. The Feed Master. This is the one. This is the one we got no choice. We have to use. But we've got 5,000 litres of protein feed in there, which means that I can bring some to our chickens and some down for the sheep. And if we have a look in here. Now, that says protein 20%. I don't know if having this completely full means I can't put the protein feed in there. That's something that we're about to find out. I'm really hoping that that's not the case, that it's kind of separated. Otherwise, we've got that annoying thing where we've got to kind of, like, do little bits at a time. And yes, I know in real life you would do the same, but this isn't real life, this is a game. And it's very easy to accidentally put too much in with the game. In real life, you can see, right, we'll fill it up to that point right there, and then this bit over here will dump some of the other feed. And it's very easy to do that. In game, it's not so easy. If you press a button and you put too much in the game, you can't take it back again, which you can do in real life. That's why it annoys me. There's so many things. I know. I do complain a lot. And I do feel, though, that some of my complaints are valid. They are valid concerns. I say some, because I don't want to be arrogant enough to say all of my complaints, because no doubt someone will have something to say about that. And I don't blame you. I probably would have something to say about it as well. Let me whiz in round here, and we'll hitch his trailer on, and then we're going to have a look at our sugar beet harvester down there and see what he's up to, because it looks like he's trying to turn around again in a very weird way. Let me hook you in. No, right, this one over here. So he's doing his turning round malarkey. Let me just get this little bit here tidied, like that. And I think we're at a point where he's going to be doing the full length of the field. Maybe, possibly. So what I will do is, if I shut that one off, I'll bring him over this way and I'll unload him a minute. Yeah, there's a couple little tiny bits left in the field here and there, but I'm ignoring those. And I will dump that in there, and then if I line him up, I might have to nurse him past that power pole, because he's probably not going to like that one. He doesn't generally like power poles at all. And some of you have said that yes, I should remove the collision on the poles, and some of you said absolutely no, don't do it at all. So yeah, it seems to be split 50-50 on the whole removing power poles thing, or at least removing the collisions on them. So I'll probably just leave them as they are, at least for the duration of this map. And then after that, I'll see. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do after this series. Oops. Like, I'm genuinely not sure what I want to go and do next. because I won't be staying on this map for, like, ages and ages. Probably stay on here a little while yet, but because there are still some things that I'd like to kind of have a look at, but I'm not all that fussed about them. Mostly, I guess that we do want to go and have a look at the vineyards, like the trees and that, and just to have a go with those. We've done some of the extra crops that were on the map, and had a look at that, but overall, I don't feel a pressing need to stay on here. The big fields are nice. See, this is a sort of map that would play well for a time-lapse series because of the big fields. You sort of take a while to get through each field. It gives you a bit of chance for some footage in each field. But for a series like this, it kind of gets a bit slow. Right, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to stop this one a second. And then I'm going to put it going again. And I'm hoping that that will cause it to forget that that power pole exists. And then just carry on across the field without any problems. So I'm going to leave it to it. See what happens. You are completely full, so I need to go and empty this one out a minute. I've emptied that one out, and also emptied out the sugar beet harvester in the field. And the way this game works now is, if you fill, like with the pig pen at least, well, with all of them, if you fill one up, like with these, they've just got grass in here. But, like with cows, it's got grass and then hay and then TMR. But if you fill it up with grass, you can't put any of the others in. And it's the same with the pigs. You've got to just put in little bits of each one. So I'm assuming it's going to be the same with this, which means that the sheep, we can't put any of the protein feed in there yet until we've got the a little bit of space. So they've used up some of that hay in there. And that's the thing with the game, and I've seen some mods that, at least I think I've seen some mods that allow you to do it differently. Maybe I haven't. Maybe I just imaginated that. I could have done. I imaginate lots of things. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure about that just yet, but this one over here, let me reverse up to this one, and we will put in a bit of... put a bit more in. So I want some of this for the sheep, and then I want some for the chickens as well. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.